What's up, all you silly billies? Welcome back Alright, cut that out. Cut that. There we go. What's up, all you silly billies? Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I'm wearing my cap and gown. The fuck was that? Shit in my throat. What's going on, all you silly billies? Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I'm in my cap and gown. That is because in 5 days, my graduation day, and I get my diploma. And I thought I would wear my cap and gown for this video, because why not? But today is the day I do my school year tier list. I'm gonna do it starting at preschool all the way up to 12th grade. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin. Actually, before, I might cut this out of the video, actually. Ow. Oh. Motherfucker. Might as well just not do this fucking video anymore. What's up, all you silly billies? Welcome back to my channel, and today I am doing the long-awaited school year tier list video. So I'm going to be doing it from preschool all the way up to 12th grade. So without further ado, let's begin. Starting with preschool, I don't remember much because it was, 13 years ago now, but I do remember meeting some pretty interesting people back then. Like, I met somebody that I was friends with up until almost the end, and I also met my very first bully there, and the only memory I have of preschool was me throwing up all over the floor in front of everyone and getting super embarrassed. Preschool, I'm going to put in a solid D tier. It sits comfortably in a D tier. Next up is kindergarten. I remember kindergarten, I was scared as hell. And for the first month of school, I would cry hysterically on the bus and in the classroom, make everyone super uncomfortable. So kindergarten sits in a solid F tier. Then first grade was the year I developed my first crush. And in order to, well, at least in my eyes, in order to impress my crush, I had to make up a story that made me sound really cool. So I made up a story that actually got me in a little bit of trouble. I made up a story where I got scratched in the face by a bear, and my grandfather fought it off with a log. And I actually remember scratching the side of my face up a little bit to make it look like I had a scratch. And at the time, the teacher told us, like, stand up and tell everyone what you did over the weekend. And that's what I told the teacher. And she freaked out, sent me to the nurse, and made the nurse call my parents. And yeah, that was an interesting conversation at the dinner table. First grade is gonna be the first grade, like, higher up on the list, probably C tier. Second grade, I don't remember anything except I got in trouble a lot, so it's gonna be an F tier. Third grade is the year where I changed a little bit. That's where my nerdier side came out. If you guys like follow me on Instagram and stuff, you know I have a very big nerdy side to me. I met my first best friend, and we bonded a lot. We would talk about monsters from like sci-fi movies and outer space and creepypastas and stuff like that, because that's like when creepypastas like The Rake and Slender Man were first emerging when I was in third grade. And honestly, third grade sits comfortably in an A tier. Third grade was such an amazing year for me. I was definitely very weird and odd in third grade, to say the least, but I think it was a very good year in my opinion. Next up, fourth grade. In fourth grade, I was in my first band. I was in a hip-hop band called the Dark Wolves. At the time, we thought that name was really cool because we were only 10 years old, so we thought the name the Dark Wolves was really cool. Looking back, that name is... It's definitely a name. But fourth grade, I would get in trouble all the time. I was a very mischievous kid when I was younger. Had lunch detention every single day of my life, because the teacher did not really like me back then. And fun fact, my teacher lives right down there, right behind my house, my fourth grade teacher. I know I'm saying a lot. I don't know why. I think it's just because I'm very hot right now. But honestly, fourth grade, probably a B tier. Even though I got in a lot of trouble a lot, it was the year where I discovered that, hey, I'm going to start writing music. I think I'm good at writing music. Yeah, I wasn't good in the Dark Wolves because I hadn't really found my niche yet, but it was definitely the year I found out that I wanted to start making music. Then fifth grade came along. Fifth grade, I found my music taste, and I wrote an album called 5 Star. It was like a punk rock album, and I just remember that's when like my very creative side came out. Definitely developed a lot of friendships in fifth grade, and I'm still friends with all of the people I became friends with in fifth grade to this day. We just graduated together, and you know, fifth grade is definitely the first S tier school year. I'm very okay with putting fifth grade in S tier. Then sixth grade came along. I got my first girlfriend in sixth grade, first year of middle school. It was very awkward. In the beginning of the year, there's a lot of commotion going on outside. I hear people yelling. I had my first girlfriend, and in the beginning of the year, I fainted in science class. I was sticking my pencil in my nose for some reason, or my mouth for some reason, and it got jabbed like that up in my gum, and I started bleeding, and I went to tell the teacher, and I stood up really fast. I went like that, and I fainted. I went down, smacked my face on the table, and then hit the floor, and I was unconscious for I don't even know how long, but I remember hearing people. So when I started gaining consciousness again, I was hearing people yelling my name, and I thought I was sleeping. I thought I was in bed. So I was like, this is just a dream. I'm just going to sleep through it. Then I like woke up and everything was all white, and I was looking around, and like the teacher was mad at me at first because she thought I did it on purpose, and then she realized that I was like super out of it and loopy. She was like, oh my god, are you okay? So I sat down and she called the nurse, and I remember looking outside and I see that it basically looked like that, like everything was just white, and I could not make out anything outside, and I was like, holy shit, I see the light, I'm about to die. Sixth grade, probably a B tier. At the end of the year, we actually had a scare. There was a false alarm. Thankfully, it was a false alarm. I remember exactly where I was. It was recess, 8th period. I was outside. I was sitting against the school. I was listening to the Geometry Dash soundtrack because back then I was really into Geometry Dash. I had my earbuds in. I was listening to Theory of Everything. And all of a sudden, I saw everyone start running into the woods. And I didn't know what was going on at first, so I got up and decided to start running with them because, like, I noticed, like, everyone was running into the woods. So I was like, something must be going on. So I ran into the woods with everyone. That's when I found out that the school was in a lockdown, and since we were outside, we had nowhere to hide, so we just went to the woods. We had to go to the elementary school. We had to like take cover inside the school, and we were there for like 3 or 4 hours because apparently someone saw a suspicious person on the school property, and they said that they had a gun or something, but luckily it was just a false alarm, and I will never forget that day. It was an insane day. But moving on to 7th grade. 7th grade, I was in a relationship again with the person I was with in 6th grade, and it was a little better this time around. I had my first kiss and all that, and I was on the soccer team. Don't really remember much from 7th grade. It was pretty mid-year. It was honestly like a C tier. But moving on to 8th grade. 8th grade was another really good year. That was the year that the world shut down, I think. Was it the year the world shut down? Yes, it was. 8th grade was pretty chill. In the beginning, I was having a normal year, and I just remember I wrote a bunch of music. I wrote like 4, 5, 6 albums, and my friendships with everyone got a lot stronger and all that. And then March came along, March 13th came along, and the school shut down. I remember exactly what I was doing. I was walking down that street with a jar of rocks in my hand because I was gonna go break the glass because I was mad about something. And my friend came up to me. He was riding his bike, and he came up to me. He was like, did you hear the schools are shut down for 2 weeks? I was like, oh, that's cool. And we were shut down for like 2 years. 8th grade, probably an A tier, B tier. It was pretty good. Then 9th grade. 9th grade, I was completely remote learning. Honestly, I loved remote learning. I thought it was really cool, and I actually made a couple videos during the remote learning saga of my life. Some of them I deleted because they were really boring and cringy, but some of them are still up, so you can go watch them if you want. I don't recommend you do because that's back when I was still super awkward and stuff on camera. But it was a really good year. I did the best academically during remote learning, and honestly, it was probably a B tier. Then 10th grade came along. 10th grade, I developed my first real relationship. I was with this person for 2.5 years. Unfortunately, about 3 months ago, we did break up. But I developed my first real relationship. I was in my first real band. And that was honestly the year I found myself. I started to get a lot more social with people. I started going out and getting into trouble and doing all these adventures and stuff. And I'll never forget 10th grade and how I got out of my shell and I went from my comfort zone to my learning zone, which made my comfort zone expand. Now, here I am now doing YouTube full time and hanging out with friends and going to parties and stuff. And I'm so glad I found myself and decided to get out of the house and start doing things with my life. 10th grade, without a doubt, was a S tier. Now 11th grade, I'm going to do 11th grade part 1, which was the first half of the year, and 11th grade part 2, second half of the year, because the first half of the year was really good. The second half was fucking horrible. First half of the year, probably a B tier. I don't really remember much about the first half. B tier, A tier, between there. Second half of the year was horrible because someone made a really bad rumor about me saying that I was gonna do something bad. And he was like posting it all over the Snapchat, being like, don't go to school tomorrow and stuff like that. So I went into school and the police were waiting for me, and they brought me into the office and asked me a bunch of questions for like an hour straight, and then I had to get like evaluated by like a psychiatric center and stuff like that. All because of a stupid rumor. And I actually got suspended because I had a saw blade in my bag because I was taking this C-Tech program. And basically what C-Tech is, it's something you take in New York State. I don't know if they do anything like this anywhere else, but in New York State, you could take a program called BOCES or C-Tech, and you take it when you're in 11th grade, and it's basically to get you ready for college. So I went into an automotive program because I wanted to be a mechanic at the time. So I had a broken saw blade, and I was going to take it home and like buff it out and fix it, and I forgot it was in my bag, and then the police found it, and then I got suspended for 5 days. Then when I got back, something absolutely horrible and like traumatic happened. I remember the exact day, exactly what I was doing. It was March 8th, 2023. I was in C-Tech. It was 9:30 in the morning, and I was looking at this kid's. I was like standing behind this kid, and he was like starting to freak out. He's like, "Yo, what the hell's going on at our school?" So I look over his shoulder. I see on his phone that my friend posted on his story, like the entire police force was outside the school, and I was like, what the fuck is going on at the school, man? And I heard that there was a post that was made on Snapchat about how there was this kid threatening to bomb the school. And there were some people that were saying it was me and like talking about how it was me and stuff. And it was just, I lost hope in humanity when I found that out, that people would just assume that I would do something that horrible. People would, like, I don't know, because like I was never really a social kid up until like the end of high school, so I was always like pretty quiet and stuff. And like just because somebody is quiet and reserved and introverted does not mean that they're crazy. You know, like I was in shock. I was mad. But then we went back to the school after C-Tech, and they actually made the C-Tech kids sit in the bus in the back of the school. And I just felt so vulnerable, and I just remember right then and there, I was like, if I die, it's probably gonna be right now. And I just remember getting ready to die, and the thing that bothered me was I was ready for it. Like, I accepted it. Like, I was like, if my life is over right now, then I'm fine with that. And I just remember being next to my girlfriend, and I was ready. I was waiting for something to happen, and that just bothers me that I was ready for it. I was ready to die right then and there. second half of the year, I don't even want to put it on the list, honestly. But to lift the mood, we have 12th grade. 12th grade was definitely the best year of my entire life. A friend of mine that I wasn't really close with, we became extremely close this year, and he brought out like this very adventurous side in me that I never knew I had, and I am so grateful that I met him, and hopefully we'll start doing skits and stuff with him on this channel this summer, but he's gonna be working a lot, so I don't know if you'll ever get to see him or not, but if we do, great. Words can't even describe how much I loved this school year and how much I love my friends, and 12th grade was obviously an S tier. It was the best year of my entire life, and I'm so happy and satisfied with how I ended off. I ended off really well, and I'm so glad everything happened. Even the bad stuff, I'm so glad it happened, because honestly, in my honest opinion, shitty stuff is character development. It is. It's something to look back on and learn from, and that's exactly what I do. So if you're still in school, don't quit, don't drop out. It's not worth it. Just finish off, even if it's hard, even if it sucks. Just stay strong, get through it. You'll be fine. Trust me. That's about it. This video is very long. I'm running out of time. That's about it. See ya.